All right, getting ready for a plastic furniture machine operator interview. Are we? Well, you've come to the right place.
We've got a ton of great resources from RoleCatcher.com to help you prepare.
We'll be deep diving into their career guide and interview guide.
And we'll even touch on how RoleCatcher's AI can give you an edge.
So let's jump right in. First, let's paint a picture of what this job actually looks like. What does a plastic furniture machine operator do all day?
It's more than meets the eye, that's for sure. We're talking about operating those high-tech machines that transform plastic into all sorts of furniture.
It's not just about plastic chairs, then.
No, not at all. Think tables, storage bins, those big outdoor patio sets, all kinds of things. These operators are the ones running the machines that shape the plastic into those final forms.
So it sounds like a pretty technical role.
It is. The career guide mentions that these operators need to have a good understanding of the machines, know how to troubleshoot problems, and have a keen eye for quality control.
So it's not just pushing buttons.
Definitely not. They need to understand the whole process, from raw materials to the finished product.
Now, the career guide also talks about some pros and cons of this job, right? Like the demand for these operators is high, but it can also be physically demanding and repetitive.
It's true. It's a good career path in terms of job security, but it's important to be aware of the physical demands.
It's all about being prepared.
Right.
And that's where RoleCatcher comes in.
Absolutely. They not only have these fantastic guides, but their AI can actually analyze specific job descriptions to help tailor your CV.
That's amazing, and we'll dive into that a bit later. But first, let's get into some common interview questions.
The interview guide actually has 9 sample questions. Shall we start with the first one?
Let's do it. Fire away.
Okay. Explain your experience in operating plastic furniture machines. Seems straightforward, but what are they really looking for here?
I bet there's more to it than just listing the machines you've used.
Exactly. The interviewer is trying to gauge your depth of knowledge and experience. What types of machines are you familiar with? What were your specific responsibilities?
So it's about showcasing your expertise and highlighting your accomplishments.
Right. Think back to those past roles and really paint a picture for them. For example, you can say something like, in my previous role, I specialized in high-volume production of plastic chairs using a variety of injection molding machines.
That's a good start. What else?
I was responsible for everything from setting up the molds and adjusting machine parameters to troubleshooting minor malfunctions and performing routine maintenance.
That's great. You've covered the types of machines, your responsibilities, and even hinted at your problem-solving skills. And this is where I think RoleCatcher's AI could be really helpful, right?
Absolutely. It can help you identify the most relevant experiences to highlight based on the specific job you're applying for.
Okay, let's move on to the next question.
Question number 2 is, how do you ensure the quality of the plastic furniture produced by the machines you operate? This one's all about demonstrating your attention to detail and commitment to producing top-notch products.
Makes sense. Quality is key in any manufacturing setting. What should our listener focus on here?
I think it's really important to show that you understand quality standards. You could mention specific industry guidelines you've worked with or quality control procedures from your previous roles.
Walk them through the process, right?
Yes, exactly. For instance, you might say, in my previous role, we followed strict quality control protocols. I'd visually inspect each piece for any defects like cracks or uneven coloring. We also use calipers to verify dimensions and ensure consistency.
So you're showing them that you're not just operating the machine, you're really invested in the quality of the final product.
Exactly. And again, RoleCatcher's AI can help you fine-tune these answers to align perfectly with the specific job requirements.
Okay, on to question 3.
How do you troubleshoot problems that occur during plastic furniture production? Now, this is where your problem-solving skills really come into play.
It's about thinking on your feet and staying calm under pressure.
You got it. The interviewer wants to see how you handle those inevitable hiccups in the production process. Start by outlining your general approach to troubleshooting.
Do you have a system you use? A checklist?
And give a concrete example. What was a problem you encountered? What steps did you take to resolve it? And what was the outcome?
Don't just say, I'm good at fixing things. Show them how you fix things.
Right. Let's say the plastic isn't filling the mold properly. A good answer might be, I'd first try to isolate the cause by checking things like the material feed, mold temperature, and injection pressure. If the plastic wasn't melting evenly, I'd consult the manual to confirm the optimal temperature range and adjust accordingly.
And that shows them, how to use resources and think systematically.
It demonstrates a methodical approach to problem solving, which is exactly what they're looking for.
Okay, let's keep this momentum going. What's the next question?
Question 4 is, how do you maintain the plastic furniture machines you operate? This one is all about showcasing your proactive approach to keeping things running smoothly.
It's about showing you're responsible and understand that preventive maintenance is key to efficiency, right?
Absolutely. Detail your maintenance routine for them. What checks do you perform daily or weekly? Do you clean and lubricate parts? Explain why this is important.
So a good answer might sound like,
I understand that regular maintenance is key to preventing breakdowns and extending the lifespan of the machines. Daily, I inspect for leaks, check oil levels, and clean filters. Weekly, I lubricate moving parts, inspect the clamping mechanism, and verify sensor calibrations.
it's clear, concise, and shows that you're diligent and detail-oriented.
And it highlights your understanding of the importance of preventive maintenance.
Now, listener, here's something to think about. When talking about your maintenance experience, try to connect it to what the specific job requires.
Does the job description emphasize efficiency? Safety. Tailor your response accordingly.
It shows that you've done your homework and you're really thinking about how your skills fit their needs.
Exactly. Now, ready for question 5.
Bring it on.
How do you ensure the safety of yourself and others while operating plastic furniture machines? This one's all about workplace safety, which is obviously crucial.
And it's not just about knowing the rules, it's about showing that you genuinely prioritize safety.
Right. Don't just list procedures, explain why these safety rules are in place and how you incorporate them into your work. You could say something like, I believe safety is everyone's responsibility. Before operating any machine, I always perform a thorough safety check.
What kind of things would you check?
I make sure guards are in place, emergency stops are accessible, and the work area is clear. I wear all required PPE and never bypass safety features, and I regularly inspect for any wear and tear that could pose a risk.
That's really thorough. And this is where you could mention any safety training or certifications you have.
It adds credibility to your commitment to safety.
Great point. Okay, let's see what we've got next.
Question 6 is, how do you prioritize competing demands while operating plastic furniture machines? This one gets at your ability to multitask and stay organized on a busy production floor.
Because things can get hectic in a manufacturing setting.
For sure. They want to know you can handle the pressure and keep things moving smoothly. Give them specific examples of how you manage your time and prioritize tasks.
And how you deal with unexpected issues that might pop up.
Exactly. You could say, when faced with competing demands, I always prioritize safety first. If a machine malfunctions, I address the issue immediately while delegating other tasks to my colleagues if possible.
That shows you can think clearly under pressure and keep things running efficiently.
Okay, on to question 7. How do you ensure that the plastic furniture machines you operate are running at optimal performance?
This one seems to be about your technical knowledge and commitment to efficiency.
You're right on the mark. Here's where you highlight your understanding of the machines and how to get the best out of them. Do you track production metrics? Do you calibrate settings regularly?
Give them a concrete example.
You bet. You might say, I understand the importance of precise calibration for optimal performance. I regularly monitor parameters like temperature, air pressure, and mold closure force.
It's pretty technical. What else could you mention?
I also track cycle times and product quality. For instance, if cycle times increase or product walls become thinner, it could indicate a problem with air pressure or mold temperature. I'd then troubleshoot and correct the problem, ensuring the machine runs at peak efficiency.
Now, listener, here's a little tip. When talking about machines, try to use specific terminology from the job description. It shows you've done your research and you're familiar with their equipment.
It demonstrates a real interest in the specific role.
Okay, we're making great progress. What's up next?
Question 8. How do you train and mentor new plastic furniture machine operators?
So this is about leadership and sharing your knowledge.
Right. It's a chance to show them you're a team player who's invested in the success of others.
How should someone approach this question?
Highlight your understanding of different learning styles and how you adapt your training methods. Do you prefer hands-on demonstrations, clear written instructions? A good answer might be, I believe in creating a supportive learning environment. I start with a thorough explanation of the machine components and safety procedures.
So you're laying the groundwork for them. What's next?
Then I provide hands-on demonstrations, breaking down each step clearly. I encourage questions and provide feedback, ensuring the new operator feels comfortable and confident.
You're not just teaching them how to operate the machine, you're really guiding them.
Precisely. And if you've had any formal mentorship or training experience, definitely mention that too.
It all adds to your credibility. Okay, last question. Bring it home.
Okay. How do you stay updated on the latest trends and technologies in plastic furniture production? This is all about your commitment to continuous learning.
It's showing them that you're passionate about the industry and want to stay ahead of the curve.
Share your sources of information and the steps you take to stay current. You might say something like, I'm passionate about staying at the forefront of the industry, especially in areas like sustainability. I regularly read publications like Plastics Technology magazine.
It shows that you're engaged and informed.
Yeah.
What else could you mention?
I recently attended a webinar on bio-based plastics, and I'm currently researching their potential applications in our production processes.
That's great. You've tied it back to your work and shown that you're thinking about innovation.
And that's what employers are looking for. Someone who is proactive and forward-thinking.
We've covered so much in this deep dive already.
We've explored the role, tackled some tough interview questions, and even touched on how RoleCatcher's AI can really give you an edge in your preparation.
It's all about feeling prepared and confident.
And we'll dive even deeper into those AI features in the next part of our deep dive.
Stay tuned. We're ready to really up your interview game now.
Time to explore RoleCatcher's AI-powered tools.
We've talked about tailoring those responses, making sure they fit the specific job.
And RoleCatcher's AI does just that.
It digs into those job descriptions, helps you polish your CV, even helps you practice interview answers.
It's like having a personalized career coach right in your pocket.
Okay, break it down for me. How does this AI magic actually work?
Let's say you're applying for a job, right?
Yeah.
And they want someone with experience on injection molding machines, and they emphasize troubleshooting skills.
Makes sense.
You probably have those skills on your resume already, but is it presented the right way, in the most impactful way?
That's a good point.
That's where RoleCatcher steps in. Their AI scans that job description, picks out the keywords, the important phrases, the things the employer is really looking for.
So it goes beyond just listing skills. It's about showcasing them in a way that really resonates with what the employer wants.
Exactly. And it's more than just keywords. RoleCatcher's AI gets language. It helps you craft those bullet points on your resume, those points that really make you stand out.
Give me an example. How does this actually work?
Sure. Let's say your resume just says, experienced in troubleshooting injection molding machines. Pretty basic, right?
Yeah, pretty standard.
RoleCatcher might come in and say, hey, try this instead. Successfully resolved complex injection molding machine malfunctions, including material feed issues and temperature fluctuations, resulting in minimized downtime and increased production efficiency.
Wow, that's way better. The second one is so much more specific.
It paints a picture. It quantifies your achievements.
Recruiters eat that stuff up.
It's a game changer, really. And the best part is it's tailored. Each job you apply for, you get that personalized touch.
So we've talked CVs. What about interview practice?
This is where it gets really cool. RoleCatcher's AI simulates an interview, asks you questions, and get this, it analyzes your responses in real time.
Hold on. I can practice interview questions with AI.
You bet. And it doesn't just ask questions, it listens, analyzes what you're saying, gives you feedback on how you deliver your answers, just like a coach would.
That's wild. It's like having a personal interview coach in my computer.
Exactly. Tone of voice, pacing, filler words, even your body language if you use the video feature.
Wow. So it's not just what you say, it's how you say it.
All those little things that can make a big difference. The AI picks up on it all.
This technology is amazing. Walk me through it. What's it like to actually use this AI interview practice?
Super easy. You pick the job you're interviewing for, and RoleCatcher pulls up the questions. The relevant ones based on that job description.
So it's the same AI, right? The one that analyzes the job description for your CV.
Yep, all connected, designed to give you the best prep possible.
So smart. All right, I got the questions. What next?
You can type your answers, or you can practice out loud. They even have a video feature.
I bet the video features where you get that in-depth body language analysis.
You got it. And as you answer, the AI gives you feedback. Real-time feedback. Content, delivery, body language, the whole 9 yards.
It's like having a little coach in your ear, telling you how to improve.
It's an amazing tool. You see your strengths, you see your weaknesses, helps you really refine your skills.
This is seriously impressive. And I can practice as much as I want.
As much as you need. That's the point. You walk into that interview feeling confident, ready to go.
All right, so we've covered crafting a great CV and practicing for the interview. Now let's tap into some of those career insights from the career guide.
It's about understanding the role, understanding the industry, seeing the big picture.
Shows the interviewer you've done your homework.
Right. And this career guide is packed with info.
Give me the highlights. What are some of the key takeaways our listeners should know?
The first one, continuous learning, is huge in this field.
Because the plastic furniture industry is always changing. New technologies, new materials.
All the time. You got to be able to adapt, learn new things.
So how do I show the interviewer I'm committed to learning?
We talked about it before, but it's worth repeating. Talk about the stuff you read. Industry publications, conferences you've attended, online courses, anything like that.
It's about showing a genuine interest.
Right. Be specific, too. Don't just say, I read industry publications. Talk about a particular article that grabbed you or a new tech you're excited about.
I like it. The details make it real.
Another big takeaway is the idea of mentorship and the opportunity to advance in your career.
So it's not just a job. It could be a real career path.
That's the idea. The guide talks about becoming a supervisor, a quality control inspector, things like that. And it emphasizes mentorship, helping new operators develop their skills.
This is gold for our listener. How can they use this in the interview?
Express interest in growing with the company. Talk about being a mentor, sharing your knowledge, ask about their training programs, career development.
Showing them you're thinking long-term, you're invested.
It ties back to that question about training new operators, too.
By showing leadership, a desire for more responsibility, you're really setting yourself apart.
Absolutely. Now, let's switch gears. Focus on quality control.
We talked about it with those interview questions, but let's dive deeper.
The career guide really stresses how vital quality control is.
Consumers want good products. Durable, safe, and they should look good too.
Exactly. And as a machine operator, you're a big part of that.
Big responsibility. So how do you convince the interviewer that you get it?
Talk about your attention to detail, how you spot those little defects, your knowledge of those quality control procedures.
It's about showing that you're committed to making excellent products, that you understand the industry standards.
And remember, it's a team effort. You're collaborating with others to hit those quality targets. So talk about your communication skills too.
All right, listener, pop quiz. Think of a time you caught a quality issue that others might have missed. What'd you do? How'd you fix it? That's a story you can share in the interview.
Love it. It's about taking ownership, taking pride in your work.
Leads us to another important topic, problem solving.
Essential in any manufacturing job, but especially crucial here.
The career guide mentions all sorts of problems, right? Machine malfunctions, material issues, delays, defects.
You got to be able to think on your feet, troubleshoot, stay calm when things get tough.
And communication is key too, I bet.
Definitely. Sometimes you need that collaboration, that input from others to solve a problem.
Okay, so how do you convince them you're a problem solver? Tell a story.
Exactly. Use the STAR method.
Refresh my memory. What's that again?
Situation, task, action, result.
Ah, right. A good way to tell a compelling story.
Lay out the situation, describe the task at hand, explain the action you took, and highlight that positive result.
Simple but effective.
Okay, let's give our listener an example. Let's say you're working on a machine and you keep seeing a defect. Same defect keeps popping up.
All right, there's our situation. What's the task?
Figure out what's causing the defect,
Yeah.
right? And then fix it, of course, so you're making good products.
Action time. What'd you do?
I took a close look at the mold. Noticed a misalignment. It was subtle, but it was enough to mess up the plastic flow.
You found the problem. Now how'd you fix it?
Adjusted the clamping pressure on the mold, did some test runs, kept an eye on things.
And the result? Drum roll, please.
No more defects. Product was coming out perfect.
There you have it, folks. The STAR method in action. You laid it all out. The problem, the solution, the happy ending.
Shows you can think critically under pressure and that you're committed to quality.
All right, listener, your turn. Think of a time you had a tough problem at work. How'd you solve it? What skills did you use?
Think about your experiences, the things you've learned, the strengths you've developed. Those are your stories to tell.
This has been a fantastic deep dive so far.
We've really broken down the role, the interview questions, those powerful AI tools from RoleCatcher.
In the final part, we'll wrap it all up, give you some last-minute tips to really nail that interview.
Okay, we're back for the final stretch. Our last part in this deep dive on becoming a plastic furniture machine operator. We've covered a ton of ground, haven't we?
We have. From exploring what the role actually involves to dissecting those interview questions and those amazing AI tools RoleCatcher offers.
It's all about making sure you walk into that interview feeling confident and prepared.
And walk out with a job offer. So, any final words of wisdom before we wrap things up?
I think the biggest thing is to remember this role is all about blending technical skills with attention to detail and those all-important problem-solving abilities.
It's about understanding the whole production process, not just pushing buttons on a machine.
You got it. And don't forget those soft skills, being a team player, communicating clearly, and always being open to learning new things.
So how do you showcase all of this during the interview?
Tell stories.
Yeah.
We've talked about sharing those specific examples from your work experience. It's how you bring those themes to life.
Don't just tell them you're a great problem solver, right?
Right. Tell them about a time you actually solved a tricky problem on the production line.
And use that STAR method we talked about. Situation, task, action, result. Helps you structure those stories.
And don't be afraid to let your enthusiasm shine through.
That's right. Show them you're passionate about this industry.
Talk about what excites you, the challenges you enjoy, those new technologies you can't wait to learn.
Now, asking questions during the interview is important too, isn't it?
It shows you're engaged, that you're curious, and it helps you figure out if the company is the right fit for you.
So, what kind of questions should our listeners be asking?
Ask about the company culture, their training programs, maybe their sustainability practices.
It's your chance to dig a little deeper.
Exactly. It's a two-way street, remember? You're both trying to see if it's a good match.
Okay, so we've covered storytelling, enthusiasm, asking insightful questions. Any last-minute tips?
Practice, practice, practice. RoleCatcher's AI interview practice is a fantastic tool, but you can also rehearse with a friend or even just in front of a mirror. The more comfortable you are talking about your experiences, the better.
It's not about memorizing answers.
And don't forget the basics. Dress professionally, be on time, bring a copy of your resume and any certifications you have.
It shows you're prepared.
And a simple thank you note after the interview can go a long way too.
It's a nice touch. Shows you're appreciative.
Well, I think that about covers it.
It's been quite a deep dive into the world of plastic furniture machine operators.
We've explored the ins and outs of the role, tackled those interview questions, and given you the tools to really shine using RoleCatcher's resources and that amazing AI.
Remember, confidence is key. You've got the skills and the experience. Now go out there and show them what you can do.
Best of luck with your interview.
And don't forget to explore all the great resources RoleCatcher has to offer. It could be your secret weapon to landing that dream job. Keep learning, keep refining those skills, and go get that job offer. You got this.